Good morning and welcome to day 6 of this big trip from Traralgon to Perth. Today I'm going from Port Augusta to Ceduna, which is going to be about a 4-hour and 45-minute ride. I'm just getting packed up. It's about 8 o'clock. I wanted to leave at 8 o'clock, but my computer is having a bit of a meltdown, the poor old thing. All this editing work that it's having to do is a bit much, and it's 7 years old, so it's barely hanging in there. What did I want to get? Okay, so basically a few things I wanted to comment on that I thought were pretty important. Firstly, one of the reasons I've enjoyed this holiday so much is it's just really reduced my cognitive load. Normally when I go on holidays, it tends to be more stress than what you expect when you're planning things and you're wrangling your kids and you're dealing with large groups of tourists and whatnot. But just having the freedom to come and go as I please and to do everything at my own pace has really been very liberating, and especially for parents, mums and dads. I would urge them to take a bit of time, even if it's only a short time, like 12 days, just to yourself, so you can come back to your kids and be yourself again. I'm really grateful to my wife for letting me have that opportunity. Not that I think she wouldn't, but now that I'm doing it, I'm definitely noticing the benefits of it, and hopefully that'll make me a better dad when I come back. Another thing that I think's been really helpful is I've been pretty shattered at the end of every day, but I did put several months worth of work in, sort of all through January, February, March, and then into April, into closing the rings on my Apple Watch, which basically means getting your exercise hours and activity hours up every day, so that I had at least a decent level of fitness coming into this. Because days like yesterday, even though the riding conditions were perfect, riding for that entire day was pretty tiring. But the 2 days prior to that, when it was super windy and really challenging, it just really exhausts you. So definitely my recommendation to anyone who's planning on doing this crossing is to put at least a month in, I reckon, beforehand, of just getting yourself into some decent shape, because it takes a lot out of you, more than you would think. But anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble. I've gone on for way too long, and I'll hit the road soon, and I'll see you there.
My appetite, don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine.
I'm coming up to a town called Iron Knob, which is an interesting name, but I'm thinking I might pull in here and see if I can grab some breakfast. Also, I've noticed my fuel gauge is out again this morning. I've just filled up, and it's, yeah, it's about maybe 100 k's out or so. So I was able to fix that yesterday, so let's see if I can fix it again today, because I'd rather have something that's close to accurate than not. But anyway, how's this red sandy dirt? It's incredible.
But I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak my mind. Oh.
Okay, so the good news is the fuel gauge is back working again. So instead of 210 k's remaining, it's back to 285, which is closer to accurate. So that's awesome. Bad news is there's no food in this unusual little town. Very quirky little town. So we'll just keep trucking up the road and we'll see what we can find.
You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, 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 oh,
At our first scheduled stop for the day, which is a town called Kimba. Excited to visit this town, A, to get some fuel, B, to get some breakfast, and C, there's another giant thing here, another big thing that I wanted to get a photo with, which is super exciting. Slow down, Ben. So let's see if we can find this big thing. Oh, it looks like there's some silo art as well. That's cool. Oh yeah, look at that. That's incredible. Now, and this has been my favourite stop so far. I got fuel, had something to eat at the Big Galah, halfway across Australia milestone, and met heaps of really nice people who just wanted to talk, and more importantly talk motorbikes. There was this cool guy, sounded like he had a New Zealand accent, with a Tenere on a trailer, and he said he was heading towards New South Wales. And there was another fella who was, he said he knew someone who just bought a 450 MT,
So everyone's just really interested to talk about the bike. I've filled it up with petrol. The fuel sensor's working perfectly. Thank goodness, touch wood. Hopefully that stays the same. I dropped my damn helmet. I'm absolutely shattered about that. But it doesn't... It looked to have had a relatively soft landing, so hopefully it's okay, but nevertheless, something I would have rather have avoided. Alright, well, I'm going to push on, put some tunes on. Words can't express, particularly an inarticulate buffoon like me, cannot express how beautiful it is today and how perfect the weather conditions are for riding and how well this bike is doing, given that it only cost me $12,000 brand new. I can't believe, and I'm so comfortable. I'm 43 years old with a million aches and pains, and I feel as good as I've ever felt. Shout out to YouTubers like Itchy Boots and Joe Ryan and Jamie Gitz, and I'm forgetting a million people, but and Freddie Dobbs for making me dream this sort of stuff up, because this is such a great experience and I'm so glad to be doing this. And shout out to my family. I miss you guys. I wish you were here, because this is unreal. Can't wait to see you in Perth. Alright, let's get on with it. If I'm not mistaken, I'm coming into my second scheduled stop for the day. These are relatively close together, but there's supposed to be fuel here, and I've decided to get myself into the habit of getting fuel at every possible occasion so that I've got some good habits when I get to the Nullarbor. I'm not going to take any spare fuel with me because I've been assured from good sources that there's plenty of service stations about to be able to get fuel along the way. So hopefully that's the case. If not, well, we'll just have to problem solve as we go. But I'm going to have a little bit of a break. Looks like I might get pulled over here for a breath test, and I'll catch up with you soon. If it's officially one of our big things, I don't think so, but that's the big granite sculpture in somewhere. I don't know where I am. I just stopped and filled up with petrol again. But anyway, I thought it was cool because you got the sheep down the bottom, and it looks like all the smaller people inside the sculpture may represent the generations of farmers that tend to go one after the other, which I think is pretty cool. Anyway, a nice little attraction. Alright, time to hit the road again. Such a beautiful day.
Hello and welcome to the end of day 6. Today was a really great day of riding from Port Augusta to Ceduna, where I am now, just in my little hotel room here, or motel I should say. I've only just discovered what the difference is between them. Yeah, it was such a beautiful day for riding. There was barely a breath of wind. I got breath tested along the way, so luckily I hadn't been drinking. I got pretty fatigued throughout the day, but luckily there's lots of nice little small towns that you can stop and have a rest in and just take a break. So there was never a time when I felt concerned for my ability to ride. I had a funny experience when I checked in here. The gentleman who checked me in, I can't think of his name at the moment. It might come to me later. Let's just say he's not on the tourism board for Ceduna. He doesn't love it here. He was telling me that or whatever I'm deciding to do this evening, make sure I'm back at the motel by 9 o'clock, because they lock this place up like Fort Knox, because apparently there's a lot of vandalism and theft that goes along here. My experience though, walking down the street to get some dinner this evening was beautiful. It was so nice. Yeah, there were some locals who wanted to have a chat, but they were all really friendly. I got a pizza from the pizza shop here and just brought it back here and ate it and watched Toronto win the second game of the first round of playoff series, which was awesome. And yeah, now I'm just kicking back, relaxing, getting prepared for day 2 and doing some video editing. So if you've stuck around for this long, if you're enjoying this series, I appreciate you watching. If not, I'm probably the only person watching this. But if you are taking the time to watch this, then just shout out to you. I appreciate it. Thanks heaps.